The New England Patriots take down kind of Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson unfortunately gets knocked out of another game. But I don't know what to tell you. Drake Maye is genuinely an elite quarterback already. Drake Maye does not need to improve anything in order to be considered an elite top quarterback in the NFL right now. It's just the reality of the situation. It can sound too extreme. It can sound too soon. Drake Maye is genuinely special. The throws, the plays that he was making today, unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. The throw to Williams, the throw to Booty, that didn't count because he kind of dropped it and then it was clearly pass interference. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. He is just different, man. It is something special. He is something special. 380 yards, obviously could have been well over 400. 2 touchdowns. He had the interception, had the fumble. Not going to tell you that he played perfect. Not going to say that he was flawless. Happens. Mahomes, everyone turns the ball over, Josh, but 31 for 44, 380 yards, 8.6 yards per attempt, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 102.5 passer rating. Obviously, Stephenson with some beast mode. Henderson unfortunately knocked out. This team got, oh my God, we all saw the graphic when it was just like 8 different players who were either out or questionable. Stefon Diggs stepping up, making some wild throws. M. Holland is out there looking like, are you kidding me? Do you guys know who I am? Like, if you didn't know who M. Holland was prior, you would think like, oh, is this some like upcoming guy? Like, oh, well, did the Patriots draft him like last year or something? You'd be like, who is this guy? Like, you would think that this guy's a monster and that everyone should know he should be a household name. Like a genuine where I was like, everyone knows Mac. Holland, of course, like he's on the level of, can't think of his name right now. Not Jamar Chase for the Bengals. The other wide receiver who I always forget everyone's name. It'll come to me in a moment later on in the video. But it's just, listen, obviously you're going up against a backup quarterback. Lamar Jackson was in there for, what was it, 12 dropbacks, right? 10 attempts and 2 carries. And then you have Tyler Huntley in there. And, Huntley played pretty well, actually. Nothing too crazy. But he's obviously not Lamar. Lamar was looking more comfortable, and it was kind of cool because I'm like, all right, this is the Lamar that we know. But it's not like the Baltimore Ravens were in clear control of the game when Lamar was in there. And then, of course, you have the fumble from Derrick Henry, which was crushing. And at the end of the game, Z fumbling. And, just is one of those things. But I just think all things considered, this was a great win for the New England Patriots. Not every win is going to be straightforward. Not every win is going to be perfect. Not every win are you going to convert 8 for 12 on 3rd down and have no turnovers and everything is just going to be perfect. You're just not always going to have those types of games as much as you would want them. And so sometimes you just got to win games that are a little ugly, a little weird to backup quarterback. It's just the way it goes. And I think the Ravens defense, for the most part, had been playing really well, really physical. But Drake Maye, as Collinsworth kind of pointed out, the way how Drake Maye is just, ready to just unleash it. He's so accurate. What's so fascinating to me about Drake is completion percentage isn't always a testament to how accurate you are. Because quite frankly, you could throw a lot of inaccurate balls that get caught, right? You could throw 50 passes. He could throw 44 passes in that game, and all 44 could like genuinely be inaccurate. But all of them could be caught, right? Every single one of them could technically be caught. It doesn't even have to be that extreme, right? It doesn't have to be like diving catches. He snorts, just delivers such an insanely accurate ball that it's almost frustrating to watch because you're like, this is so accurate. And by comparison, you can see why other people complain about other quarterbacks being inaccurate, like Caleb. And it's not a matter of completion percentage. Like that's the thing. It's not a matter of completion percentage. It's just like you can see this is where you just got to watch the game. You just got to watch the throws. And it's just like clearly Drake Maye just delivers such a beautifully accurate ball combined with all the playmaking. He's so good off script. You know, he's so good off platform, and he's so good within the structure of the offense. He's so perfect at also playing, like if he needs to play kind of like Josh Allen, he can do that. He needs to be strictly like Brock Purdy and Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford, right? Just strictly kind of like, I'm going to sit in the pocket. Just got, everything's got to be timed perfectly in rhythm with the offense. He does that flawlessly as well. And it's just such a joy to watch. It really is. When you sit around, you know, you watch all these games, and some of them are great. Some of them get a little ugly. Some of them just get a little weird. And you finish up on a Sunday with this quality of play from Drake. To me, it just highlights the quality of play. It just so much, it really does. And the wide receiver's name is T. Higgins. I got you. I told you I was going to get there. Told you I was going to get there. Bunch of you probably already commented. T. Higgins. T. Higgins. I got there. But if I'm factoring in age, injuries, and whatnot, I'm taking Drake Maye over essentially every single one of these quarterbacks. I really am. Again, if we're going to really factor in age and all of that, I'm taking him over Stafford. I'm taking him over Burrow. I mean, I just am. I'm taking him over Lamar. I'm taking him over Goff. I mean, like, it's just look at these I mean, it's just right now, this list is kind of a mess because of all the backups that are thrown in there. And some young guys got Jacoby Brissett in there. You were Sanders. But I mean, like, he's just a true bona fide elite top quarterback in the NFL already. Like, there's no question about it. We can still look at like a Boone Nix and be like, and I think Bo Nix actually played really great in this game, in his game against the Jags. But like, you can still say like, hey, he needs to settle down a little bit, blah, 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 blah. Caleb Williams had some awesome plays and some huge plays, but like he still kind of struggles a little bit again to be within the structure of the offense. And so there's like things that are just like, okay, he still kind of needs to work on and whatnot. And I look at JJ McCarthy just genuinely can stay healthy at this point. And I look at Drake and I'm just like, this guy's perfect. I mean, he's just like, that's what I'm trying to say. If he didn't improve at all, and if this is just who he was, you're going to feel uncomfortable with him. I mean, like in every game I watch, because at this point, especially with the playoffs now, I just think to myself, like, one of the thought experiments that I do is just like, you're just dropped into into bowl, and you need a quarterback. Would you be comfortable with Drake Maye in there right now? And the answer is like just an undeniable yes, a 1,000%. All these other quarterbacks, especially the young guys, like obviously like the Staffords and the Joe Burrows, who I know, they're going to ball. They're established, but any of these like younger guys who are up and coming, I'm like, I don't know. Even ones I've seen in a Super Bowl like Brock Purdy, who again I'm a big fan of and a big defender of. I just think there's a versatility, a calmness, and such a high quality execution. I talk about this all the time. I was explaining this. Sometimes I'll watch football games with my mom and I really actually enjoy doing that because like as I'm watching it, like I'm teaching her like as we go along through it. And I was like putting out Aaron Rodgers to her and I was like, listen, because she, my mom's been around the block, so she knows Aaron. And I was like, she's like, how old is he? And I was like, he's like 42 or something. And she's like, that's crazy that he's still playing. I was like, I know. And I was like, but so much of it is because of the neck up. I'm like, look at the plays that he's making. And he had this one back shoulder pass to DK Metcalf and even Romo kind of broke it down and pointed out. And I pointed out to her and I was just like, it's the quality of play. His ability to execute and run an offense is just through the roof, that even though you got guys who are like 25, 26, 27, 28, who clearly are bigger, faster, stronger than him at this point, they fundamentally still can't play the position of quarterback better than him. They just can't. And I just feel like Drake Maye is just already all the way down at the end of this, at that other end of the spectrum. Whereas I feel like some of these other younger guys are still learning and still figuring out. And make no mistake about it, Drake Maye still has plenty to learn. Like when I say he doesn't need to get better, it's not to say he has nothing to improve with, because he obviously does. The point that I'm trying to drive home is that he is so far along that even if he doesn't, he's still a top elite quarterback. And I just find it incredible. I really, really do. I really, really do. It is just so impressive. This guy's 23 years old. The composure, the poise, the quality of play again. And it's because a lot of these younger guys, you're like, okay, yeah, they're really good, like, you know, scrambling around and making plays, but like, what about this other stuff? And like, I got to work on accuracy, and like, you know, he's out of sync, or he's off timing and all this. And it's just like when you watch Drake play any of the mistakes that you see, like a fumble or an interception, you're just kind of like, yeah, well, it's just a numbers game. It's just like, yeah, that's football. Like it's going to happen. It's not because of a genuine issue with his play. You're not like, yeah, this is a problem for him. You know, he sails a lot of balls when he's on the run or something, or, you know, he holds on to the ball, he tries to do too much, and because of that, he's taking a lot of bad sacks or leading to fumble. Like that's not the case. And that's why I'm just kind of just keeping going on and on about Drake Maye, because again, I watch a game like this, and then when you watch all the games, you know, condensed together, you know, we watch, you know, Thursday and Saturday and Sunday, like we had a few days today, this weekend, and I'm just like, when I put it all together, I'm just like, why would I take like how many, what, why? Like Drake Maye is clearly there. Drake Maye is clearly him. Like it's just so clear and obvious, and it just needs to be shouted and screamed again and again and again. It really does. It really, really does. And, you know, in a game, in a time in the NFL where it feels like we're kind of in uh, this, like, I don't know, like this purgatory with quarterbacks right now. It's like, you know what's happening with Joe Burrow? Is he leaving? Is he not? Can he stay healthy? Perry's in now, the lineup. Jordan Love is in and out of the lineup. Lamar Jackson's in now, the lineup. Patrick Mahomes, who knows what's to be with him. I believe he's going to come back 100% and be an awesome quarterback, but it's just like he's up in the air. You know, again, like I said, Caleb's making awesome plays, Bo's making awesome plays, but like, you know, still developing, obviously. You know, then we got a bunch of other quarterbacks who like are on the cusp of aging out and stuff, and you know, like the Staffords and whatnot, and then you have someone like, because I was pointing out another game, ironically, to my mom, the Steelers, and you know, she's like, why didn't Jared Goff just run in for a touchdown? And there's a one play where, you know, it seemed like the sea parted a little bit, and she's like, look, he could have just ran in for a touchdown. I was like, no, you don't understand. Like, Jared Goff is incapable of doing that. She's like, but like he could have gotten there. I was like, no, 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 he would have tried, and then the defense would have closed out on him in a heartbeat. You think he can? I was like, he is not these other. He is not Jalen Hurts. He is not Patrick Mahomes. He is not Lamar Jackson. He is not Josh. Like he can't do that. Like it seems like he can, but he can't, you know? And like my mom couldn't, like she couldn't grasp that. And I was like, believe me, if he could, he would have, but he couldn't. And you know, you don't have that issue with the Drake Maye either. So it's just remarkable, man. I'll just end it there, and I'll talk more. I'll talk more highly of Drake Maye on Monday. But I mean, this to me. Again, to be clear, obviously everyone stepped up. Everyone played great in this game. Defense stepped up, forcing turnovers. Like I said, Diggs, Holland, Williams, etc. Like I'm not trying to act like this was a game where Drake Maye just like put this team on his back and, you know, led them to victory, and this is proof he's the MVP or anything like that. This is just really my felt sense of watching this game, and I'm just like, every time Drake Maye drops back and lets it rip, I'm just like, this guy, man, this guy If you have an old quarterback or a young quarterback who you're trying to evaluate and figure out, you're just like, why can't we have Drake Maye right now? Why? It would be really cool if we drafted Drake Maye. Just special. You think the Minnesota Vikings don't want Drake Maye, right? I mean, literally, J.J. McCarthy can't stay healthy. He literally cannot stay healthy. The Browns, I mean, like, every team essentially would want him. The Rams would take him right now because they're like, Stafford's about to retire. You know, it's like that this party Stafford is ending anytime soon. Like every single team would be like, yep, I'll take Drake Trey. Oh, yeah, sure, we'll take him. Tony, he's special and he's not controversial. I was having a conversation, I'll definitely end here. Because I'm predicting that the Caleb Williams and Bo Nix, they have very interesting fan bases, competing fan bases. There's a lot of energy there. Jaden was there for a little bit, but Jaden kind of stepped out. And so I think that that's going to be like a very competitive rivalry. Everyone's going to be picking and choosing sides. Fan bases, mainly, obviously. And Drake Maye is just not Kant. He doesn't have that same level of fandom that is, I'll just say sparks controversy or sparks intensity, for a loss of a better way to phrase it. Which is really interesting to me because Bon Nix from the jump divisive, Caleb Williams from the jump divisive, Jaden Daniels not as much, and B Nix not as much, JJ McCarthy divisive. Shadore, obviously Cam Moore not so, but mainly just because people weren't really talking about him. And I'm trying to think of any other, Brace Young again, which no one ever really talked about, but Drake Maye, considering what he's been able to accomplish and how the level of success that he's had this season, the sheer fact that it's somehow that he's like somehow not like controversial within the fan conversation. When I mean controversial, I don't mean like doing anything that people are like, I can't believe Drake just did that. What a jerk. Like, I just mean like in terms of like the heat that is brought in the conversations. Somehow none of that exists around Drake Maye. And I find that fascinating, honestly. Because like I said, Bo Nix from the jump, it was like people either loved him or absolutely hated him and said he was going to be a bust and terrible, 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 terrible. Like, no one's saying that about Drake Maye. No one's either praising him as like the next big thing or he's awful, he's terrible, there's just not that level of extremes around Drake Maye. And for the life of me, I got no idea why. No idea why one quarterback has like everything, all the hate, all the love, and the other quarterback doesn't have those competing interests with one another, or just like armies of fans, of opposing fans just hating him and saying, nah, he's trash, he's overrated, he's not good. Obviously, you're going to find some comments in there, but not like what I see with like Caleb or Bo. Yeah, I'll always be fascinated with stuff like that. So I'll end it here. 28-24, and the Ravens are struggling to make the playoffs now. I think they need to want the Steelers to lose out. And the Steelers just need to win one game. Wow. And the Patriots still got a shot at the 1 seed. Seems potentially unlikely, but still possible. Still want to keep winning. Still want to try to solidify that 2 seed, but you got the Jags now. Like, got some weird games, man, ahead of us. Even some of these easy games still matter tremendously because everything is up in air. So feel like these last couple of years, the end of the season was kind of like, who cares? Now, even those games that you're kind of like, the one team is not really that competitive the way how these games are unfolding, even with a backup quarterback against the Baltimore Raven, like it still comes down. It still comes down to the wire. So these next couple weeks are still going to be box office, and I'm all for it. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the New England Patriots and Drake Maye? You think I'm over-exaggerating just how great Drake is? Let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights, but ultimately let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much.